Hello, Mr. Ed here. Today is February 2nd, 2019. It's Groundhog's Day. And according to Poxitomium Phil, oh yeah, the goats? They're doing it saying too. Spring is going to be here. It's going to be spring pretty soon. And you know, according to what the bees are telling me when I'm going through these hives, I think the bees are in agreement. I've already seen lots of drones in these boxes that I'm pulling apart. There's drones as well as a good number of broods. So things are developing pretty early for us right now. So Phil, he probably is right that there is going to be an early spring, and I really need to get all this stuff done to be ready to start setting my traps, because I'm ready to catch some swarms. But what am I going to be doing today? What am I doing today? And really, I want to talk about a very basic question that every beekeeper is going to, once sooner or later in their career of beekeeping bees, they're going to come across this question. And the question is, do I treat my bees or do I not treat my bees? And I believe that every beekeeper has the right to determine whether they're going to treat for bees or not. And not that we should be, in a sense, dictated to by the business of the bee business or any other outside influence, but based on our personal experiences of keeping bees. Now, everybody who keeps bees for different reasons. The commercial guys, they keep bees because they're making a living at it. And for guys like this, there really is no option. These guys have got to treat their bees in order for them to get a paycheck, a guaranteed paycheck. But when it comes to sideliner beekeepers like myself, or even hobbyist beekeepers like most of y'all, you all have to decide on whether that's the right process for you to treat your bees or not. For me, my whole idea, my whole philosophy on keeping bees is not one that I have bees to produce honey. I keep bees because I love the bees. I enjoy going, as you well know, I enjoy going and removing bees from structures, catching swarms, and there's nothing better to me than seeing bees that are wild. And my whole concept of why I don't treat is because what I see dealing with feral bees. There's nobody taking care of these bees. They're taking care of themselves. And that's my whole approach to it. I want the bees that we have here at the Abbey to take care of themselves. So that for that reason, I don't treat. And for that reason also, I don't go and look into my beehives very often. I go in there when I harvest honey, and if I do see a problem as I walk by in the fields, not a lot of bees flying, I will pop the tops. But other than that, I just let bees alone. But for a lot of hobbyists, they have one or two hives, and the thought of losing those hives, it's a pretty hard thing. So you may decide that because you don't want to lose hives, that you want to treat for mites or other insects to help you go ahead and maintain these bees. Whether you treat or not, you're still going to encounter losses. There always will be losses in your beehives. And I have found, my experience has been that whether you treat or not, the losses that I sustain compared to people who treat their bees are very close. I'm running probably about 27 to 30% loss every year on our bees, which is a good average, and I don't treat. But ideally, my goal is to produce a line of bees, a genetic line of bees, that they may be mongrel bees, but yet the one characteristic that I want to develop is this aspect of surviving. So I want to develop surviving bees. So again, just to recap, don't be misled by the industry, but rather be led by what your heart tells you in keeping bees, whether you should treat or not treat. Because I wouldn't tell you what to do or not to do. Each one of us has to make their own choice in whether they're going to want to treat or not treat. So that's really all I have for you on this one. So thanks for watching. Keep on watching, and I'll be making more. I got lots of work still to do. Finish unloading the truck, and I'm gonna load it up again and come back and finish. We'll see you all in the next video. God bless. So I had a lot of comments about this little tool that I was using to cut the 1/8" hardware cloth from my screen bottom boards. So I want to give a little bit more information on this. And it's called a zip snip, and it's made, I believe, by Works, WRKX. And you can get them online from Walmart. I think they're about $35 for these things. And they come with a charger, a little charger to plug it in. And these things cut that 1/8" hardware cloth like a hot knife going through butter. And as you can see, it's not a round wheel. It's got square shoulders on it. And that, for whatever reason, that really does make it able to go through that hardware cloth really easy. So I'll show you how easy it is. Well, if I can get it to work right. I mean, it just cuts it really, really, really nice. And what I've done, the battery's going dead. What I've done on that fixture is, if you can see this little tracking piece right here, I just put a couple of pieces of plywood together, and I leave enough space for that track right here to go between them, and it cuts right through all that stuff and cuts it nice and straight, as long as my screen is squared up. That's all. I just want to give a little product review on this zip snip. But before I do that, I want to kind of like give a little, that's terrible. That ain't no good. I don't like that. Try it again. What's the idea? Oh, yeah, you're breaking my rhythm, dude. Oh, sorry. See, that's the problem. It's a philosophical idea. So how do you approach it? How do you develop it?